Hello everyone, I'm Pokemon Trainer Diode, and these past couple of weeks I've been obsessing over a new trend that has resurfaced in the Pokemon community. That being the can you beat X Pokemon game with just Y Pokemon under set of rules. I kinda came across one by complete chance, and if I'm not mistaken it was Spray's Lack of Only challenge in Pokemon Leaf Green. After that, I went on a binge, watching every solo challenge I could find. It was then that I found my Dry Brett's channel. At that point I was completely hooked on these challenge runs and I wanted to try one for myself. But I had no idea what to do. Another channel I really came to like was Chillin' Plays. He started off with a very simple video. Could you beat Pokémon Crystal with only a Dunsparce? I was highly entertained throughout his amazing run, so I decided to do one for myself. Now I cannot remember where I saw this comment. Trust me, I watch a lot of these challenge videos, but someone in the comments recommended a Tyrogue only run in Pokémon Crystal. I really thought about this and I hesitated to try it out since I'm currently playing through Crystal at the moment. Link to that in the iCard in the top right corner. After that shameless self-promotion, I decided to look at Tyrogue's stats and movesets for Generation 2. Oh, this is gonna be great. Fun fact! Tyrogue can only learn Tackle through level up. The rest of the moves it learns are TMs or HMs only, and even so it doesn't have that much to pick from. And so it was decided! If you have watched these kinds of videos before, the rules will be familiar to you. If you haven't, I'll go over them quickly so I can actually get this video going. First of all, the only Pokemon I am allowed to battle with is Tyrogue. Any other Pokemon will be accepted in the party for HM use only. That's it. Secondly, there will be absolutely no item usage in battle. No healing items, no X items, nothing. Not even held items. I know a lot of these challenges allow the use of held items to help out in battle and that's okay since you can only use them once and they are a finite resource, but I want to prove that Tyrogue can do this all by himself and his training. There's only one item that will be allowed to hold, but I'll talk about that in the video when the time comes. Third rule, no glitches. The only thing I will be using is the speed up button because I don't want to spend 20 real-time hours grinding for a few levels because I just don't have the time to do so. Also, this is a very long game with 2 regions, 16 badges, an Elite 4 challenge completed with a champion, and an extra battle at the end of it all. And I'm not gonna keep you guys here for that long. You have my Let's Play for that. Wink. I think you guys are caught up to speed. So let's actually start this thing and answer the question, can we beat Pokemon Crystal with only a Tyrogue? We begin the game by choosing our gender and setting our clock. I can only play at night because of work and you'll see that throughout the video. I take a quick lecture from Professor Oak who introduces us to the world of Pokemon as usual. I set my name to Diode because that's my channel name and we proceed to be generated into existence in the Johto region. Quickly make my way to Professor Oak and pick up Tyrogue as a starter. It gets a very appropriate name that describes exactly what he is and we start to make our way to Mr. Pokemon's house to run an errand for Elm. On our way there, we come across a Poliwag who quickly teaches us that this playthrough won't be an easy one, and we take our first loss to a wild Poliwag's bubble attack. I'm gonna need to train this Tyrogue hard. We get the errand done and run back to our hometown, but we get interrupted by our rival in this game who, like Poliwag, shows us how weak we are at this point. Brushing the dirt off our clothes, we get back to Professor Elm and name our rival Silver. No silly names here people, move along. We hand over the egg to Elm as it will play an important part in our adventure later on. The professor is completely baffled about the fact that we got a Pokédex from Professor Oak and encourages us to take the gym challenge. We take him up from this and start making our way to Violet City. But before we take on the gym, we decided to train on Sprout Tower to get a few levels under our belt. Bellsprout doesn't put up much of a fight, so we are able to get to the top quite easily. Sadly, we wipe against one of the monks, but we take the opportunity to recover both of our HP and power points. We head back to the tower and claim victory against the monk who defeated us the last time. We see our rival defeating the elder of the tower and thinking we are strong enough, we decided to do the same. But As you will see many times in this video, I often go into battles without healing beforehand, and it obviously cost us this match. I decided to try again with full HP but fall to the Hoot. We are just not strong enough to fight 3 battles in a row. After a short grinding session, we take on the Elder again. His first Burst Sprout is defeated without Tyrogue taking any hits. The second one falls just as quickly. And Hoot stands before us again, but this time, we don't even drop to half HP and we emerge victorious and get the HM for Flash. The gym is our next stop. In here we face Faulkner, the flying type expert. I felt very comfortable fighting at this level because I was 15 and we basically doubled the levels of the Pokemon in the gym. But Johto proved to be too bulky for us to take down. After another short grinding session, we come back and claim our badge. Tyrogue hits level 20, but instead of evolving, he steals himself and focuses on the task at hand. Beat this entire challenge with his power alone. We get the Zephyr badge, and we teach it Mud Slap, which we get from Faulkner. We go get the from the Lab 8 in the Pokemon Center, quickly hatch it and take it back to Elm, and get the most important item for this challenge, the Everstone, which prevents our Tyrogue from evolving. The routes lead us to Azalea Town, where we meet Kurt, a man who makes Pokeballs and who is kind of busy taking on Team Rocket. But since we're the protagonist of this game, this responsibility falls to us. We make our way down the Slowpoke Well and thrash the place by defeating all the Rocket Grunts with ease. The gym is now open, so we move on to our next victim, the next gym leader, Bugsy, the bug type expert. We try to go for a Mud Slap techniques against his Kakuna, but we end up poisoned. And this, along with Scyther's Fury Cutter, make this attempt impossible to defeat. We're going to train in the Alex Forest, but I have forgotten about this rival battle. We take out Silver's Pokemon one by one with Lil Dude at very low HP. But we dink to level 25, now way stronger than before. We go take on the gym again, following the same Mud Slap strategy as before. My plan was to defeat Kakuna without getting poisoned. Apparently though, Mud Slap doesn't work in this game and we end up poisoned. Again. We go at it again, trying our luck at not getting poisoned. We finally succeed. Frustratingly enough, Scyther gets a critical hit on us, bringing Tyrogue to 5 HP and ripping the victory from our hands yet again. In a weird turn of events, we miss a few attacks, which gives Scyther free turns to use Fury Cutter repeatedly. At this point, I was looking kinda like this in my room. Tyrogue must have felt my frustration, and it was like something awoke in him for the next battle. It was a very, very close one, but with both of us exhausted, his Ultra Instinct awakened, and in true Dragon Ball fashion, he managed to bring Scyther to red health, avoided the next Fury Cutter, and ended the battle with a quick hit. Finally! After who knows how many attempts, we defeated Bugsy. We take our stand against the most infamous leader in Johto, Whitney. Her Clefairy is no trouble at all. It's her Miltank we have to watch out for. She starts off by using Attract and cutting our chances to attack by 50. I try to Mud Slap it as much as I could to lower her chances of attacking as well, but it bears no fruit as we fall victim to RNG time and time again. We come back at level 35 and opt to try a flinch strategy with Headbutt since we can actually outspeed Miltank now. Thankfully this works and the third badge is ours. We get to Akrutiak City and defeat the Kimono Girls from some quick and easy XP before heading out to the Burn Tower to fight our rival. Now that his Ghastly has evolved, Haunter becomes a constant threat to us from here on out because of Curse. That puts on us a timer we cannot beat. The second time we battle him, Haunter curses us again, but this time we managed to defeat his entire team with little trouble. The gym was a hassle all on its own. All the ghost types in here can only get hit by my Mud Slap and they curse me back, putting me on that dreaded timer once again. We put Morty against the ropes on our first try, but since Mud Slap is broken, his Gengar manages to put us to sleep and decimates our attempt at a victory. Second round, we get afflicted with the curse yet again, making this another impossible run. We failed twice more before deciding to grind to level 44 to have any sort of chance to defeating this gym. Thankfully, Mud was slapped and curses were avoided, getting us the 4th gym battle in our adventure. Lil Dude ends up at level 45 with a pretty decent moveset considering our options at this point. Next up is Chuck, the fighting type monster. This gym makes Tyrogue feel right at home as we easily put out his Pride Mate. Poliwrath pulls a dirty trick on us because it somehow manages to connect Dynamic Punch. That, when combined with Primate Slayer, the confusion it inflicts, and a critical hit, means we have zero chance of winning this time. For the next battle, we decide to lower its accuracy even more by mud slapping a few times before actually starting our offensive plan. Even with that, Poliwrath connects another Dynamic Punch, bringing us to low HP with a confused status. Luckily, Tyrogue manages to focus on the battle and defeats Chuck's Poliwrath, showing who the superior fighting type Pokemon is. Except for my Chuck, which you can see in action in my current Pokémon Crystal Randomized Now-Self challenge right here on my channel. After defeating Chuck, we surf back to Olivine because we actually had forgotten to talk to Jasmine first to learn about the sick Pokemon and the potion we needed to get. As quickly as 1, 2, 3, we make the round trip with potion in hand and are now able to fight Jasmine, the Steel-type gym leader. Her first Magnemite manages to paralyze us with Thunder Wave, which sucks for us, since we are now slower than all of her Pokemon, except for Steelix. To add insult to injury, she confuses us with Supersonic before being defeated. Next up was Steelix, a gigantic impossibility for us at this point. During our second attempt, Tyrogue managed to one-shot the Magnemite, completely nullifying any possibility of getting afflicted by status conditions again. Instead of going for Steelix, she sends out her second Magnemite, who misses its Thunder Wave and falls in battle just like the previous one. Steelix now comes out, imposing as ever. Our strategy this time, to blind it as much as we can, then lower its defenses with super effective Rock Smash. Turn by turn, the battle goes on with us slowly getting closer to fainting. Tyrogue manages to pull through thanks to Mud Slap's accuracy lowering effects, and we take down Steelix after a grueling battle. After that, we go to the Lake of Rage north of Mahogany Town and defeat the Red Gyarados there. We head to the Rocket Hideout with Lance and completely annihilate every opposition after dismantling their machinery. The town's gym leader, Price, who specializes in the Ice type, was a complete joke of a fight that we managed to take down on our first try. Deciding to completely dismantle Team Rocket again, we go back to Goldenrod and take them out of the radio tower by force. One by one, his Pokemon fell easily to Tyrogue's strength. Going to the underground, we are stopped by a rival yet again. Golbug goes down easily enough after 2 strength, even though we got confused. Hunter gets Mud Slapped twice and thankfully doesn't use Curse this time. In comes the Big Blue Gator, who gets quickly overpowered thanks to Tyrogue's Mud Slapping abilities, Magnemite, who basically got no chance to do anything at all, and Sneasel, who can't take a hit. Silver comes down with a bad case of identity crisis and leaves us to continue our mission. Deep in the underground passages, we rescue the radio tower's director and make our way to the last Rocket member standing in our way. And we basically trample over his entire team. We are just too high level at this point, so not many things can actually pose a threat to us. His Houndoom goes down to 2 strengths, and that's it for Team Rocket. We continue our adventure west of Mahogany Town and into the Ice Path, which I remember definitely to being more difficult than it actually is. After this, there was only one thing to do: defeat Claire and get our last gym badge. Now, this year's battle were as frustrating as Bugsy and Morty, and that's why. Thunder Wave. We managed to take down the Dragonair trio but fall to Kingdra's amazing special attacks. A few attempts later, and we get to Kindra with no damage done to us. We take a few hits, but manage to land a very lucky critical hit, which opened up our door to victory. In total disbelief and being as birdy as Whitney, Claire denies us our badge unless we go take a quiz or something at the Dragon's Den. We go into the building and answer a few easy questions with some very obvious answers, and we get our badge after the Elder tells Claire that she is actually bad and she stopped spamming Thunder Wave. With our red badges, we go back to who gives us a Master Ball that we won't use at all. Except I did use it after I ran out of Pokeballs trying to catch a Mantine to teach it the water-based HMs we needed to cross the Tojo Falls. We clear the Victory Road with absolute ease, since it's an empty cave with little to no challenge. At the end of it, we are challenged one last time by Silver, who is now all lovey-dovey with his Pokemon and swears he can beat us this time. Time to show him how wrong he is yet again. His first 3 Pokemon go down with minimal effort on our part. Hunter though, it curses us before fainting, putting us back into that annoying timer we hate so much. The battle with Feraligatr lands us really close to fainting, but we can beat his Magneton before we faint. Right? Wrong! Curse causes our defeat yet again for the 1000th time. Okay, 1001st time. Okay, time to change our battle plan. Time for Tyrogue to learn Return. The damage difference is notable at first glance. Hunter goes down to a crit, which I'm very thankful for. The rest of his team follows suit until we get to Magneton, who paralyzes us and begins to spam Sonic Boom, whittling down our HP very slowly. We got lucky with the Para Hacks and defeat Silver for good. Now, let's run over to the league. First up is Will, the Psychic Trainer. His Pokemon have a lot of special attack, but for the most part they are very fragile, except for Exeggutor and Slowbro, neither of which gives us any trouble at all. So one by one they fell to little dude's strength. Koga stands at the ready. His team is as fragile as Will's, with only Crobat taking a hit before being healed to full, only to go down in a few hits. Fortress is a problem though. His high defense and protect spamming makes us waste more moves than we would have liked, but we defeat it regardless. Muck is an easy 2-shot at this level, so we just proceed to do that. Even though he uses Minimize, we don't fail, and we defeat Koga. Up next, we go to Bruno's dojo to show him who the best fighting type trainer is. Tyrogue takes out its evolutions with no trouble at all. Hitmontop, 1-shot. Hitmonlee, 1-shot. Hitmonchan manages to get a quick jab in, but gets 1-shot as well. With the Hitmontryodon, we're up against his ace, Machamp, who survives on a critical health and hits us back with a nasty cross chop that crits us and drops us to 20 HP. We take the healing turn to finish it in 2 hits. I thought Rock Smash would be strong enough to take out Onix, but let's be honest, the move sucks. So we're defeated by his Earthquake. After resetting and getting back to Machamp, we repeat the same process move by move. Luckily his cross chop misses, and we take it out. This time we take on Onix at almost full health. For some reason Onix decides to Darude Sandstorms us, but Tyrogue is not into EDM and completely disposes of the Onix. Karen is the last of the Elite Four, the Dark-type trainer. We go for Rock Smash against her incredibly bulky Umbreon, who proceeds to stand attack us. Thankfully, Tyrogue shocks it off and finishes off the Umbreon in a few hits. Her Vileplume was also surprisingly bulky and manages to paralyze us, making this battle 10 times harder than it needed to be. A few turns of push and pull go along, but we manage to defeat the Vileplume. The next Pokemon is... oh, a Gengar. So Gengar does Gengar things, completely crippling us for the battle to come. Murkrow doesn't give us much trouble, but Houndoom outspeeds us because of the paralysis and finishes Tyrogue off with a Flamethrower. We reset, get back to Gengar, and try our luck at a different outcome. Everything seemed to be working out fine, but he curses us yet again. Murkrow dies to a return, Houndoom gets smashed by 1-2, enough cursing for one playthrough, please. We calmly defeat Karen and move on to face the champion, Lance, the Dragon Expert. His Gyarados is bulky enough to take one hit, but it just sets a Rain Dance and gets knocked out. Aerodactyl managed to get a good hit on us, bringing our HP lower than we would have liked. Charizard survives the hit and retaliates with super effective wing attack that brings us down to yellow health. We defeat it, but now the real challenge comes. How are we gonna survive against 3 Dragonites? Tyrogue manages to take out the first Dragonite, not without being completely hindered by a paralysis and extremely low HP. We definitely lost this one, but it was a fine battle to gauge our strength. We roll the dice again, but we keep running into the same situation over and over and over. At this point, it all felt like deja vu. It doesn't matter how we came into this fight, the results were always the same. Counting our losses, we go grind one last time and return to the battle at level 92, at which point we were able to one-shot Gyarados, two-shot Aerodactyl while taking minimal damage, obliterating Charizard and bringing us back to the barrier that kept us from victory before. The first Dragonite still survives return and paralyzes us as usual. It misses his Hyper Beam and we defeat it with Strength in order to preserve Return's power points. We take the second Dragonite's Hyper Beam like total champs and hit back with a powerful Return. Taking advantage of the recharge turn, we finish off the second Dragonite. It's all finally looking up. The final Dragonite starts off the battle by using Safeguard for some reason. Return brings it down to yellow HP as it hit us with a Hyper Beam. At this point I was sweating, but Tyrogue takes the hit like nothing happened and finishes off the Dragonite, finally defeating the champion of the Pokemon League and taking the title for ourselves. Tyrogue gets recorded into the Hall of Fame, as it so deserves, and it's finally time for a break. With a grand total of 136 hours and 2 minutes played, we finally become the champion of Johto. Thanks to everyone for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and we still have Kanto to do, don't we? Okay, let's go Tyrogue! Now the Kanto gym leaders are a complete joke. At this point in the game, the trainers we have faced before pose more of a challenge, but I will still show the recorded battle just to prove that there were indeed no items or other Pokemon use. I know what you're here for, but this is just the appetizer. We completely sweep Lieutenant Surge's team with just Return. Sabrina is basically the same story, we just spam Return and one-shot everything on her gym. Janine in Fuchsia City is just a powered down version of her father who was easily defeated before, so she's absolutely no contest at all, we just spam Return and get our victory. Erica's grass type gym Pokemon were annoying because of the status conditions, but after that, it was just another clean sweep. Misty Sim fell just as easily as the rest. Our Tyrogue is just too over-leveled for anything at this point. We can basically just spam Strength or Return and we are guaranteed the win. Lapras though manages to take one hit, but it just sets up Rain Dance and ends up losing. Brock was a different story though, and one quite surprising at that. His Graveler fell over easy, but she sends out Onix second. It proceeds to crank up the EDM again, chipping away at our health at a rate faster than the actual damage his Pokemon are able to cause. His team is overall really bulky, so it usually takes us 2 hits to finish them off, meaning we're taking double the Sandstorm damage. Enough as to where Rhyhorn is able to finish us off. Our next attempt we went over way smoothly. Thankfully he left the Onix for last so it couldn't benefit from the free Sandstorm damage. And with that, we defeat Brock and move along to Blaine, who didn't even manage to hit us once during the battle. The final gym leader in Kanto is Blue. To many, he is quite the challenge. To Tyrogue, he is merely another stepping stone. Most of his Pokemon are either 1 or 2 shot by Return, except for his Rhydon, who can manage to take a few hits quite well. Luckily I taught Thief to Tyrogue, as its special attack is actually higher than its attack at this level. And since Rhydon's special defense is absolute garbage, we make quick work of it, earning us our 16th gym badge. The moment of truth is now upon us. The final battle is about to begin. Tyrogue grinded its way to level 100 to make sure it was at his most powerful as a sign of respect for this trainer. The battle begins. His Pikachu gets quickly taken out by a max power Return. His Espeon though came out next, and this is where we hit a massive wall. Thief did good damage, but nowhere near enough of what we needed. Espeon sets up the Reflect, protecting his team from future physical moves and hitting us with Psychic, bringing Tyrogue to a sliver of health. Red's Charizard comes out next and finishes us up with a Wing Attack. We tried the same battle about 5 times before I decided to try something completely different and change up Tyrogue's moveset. Armed with only Return, Swagger and Headbutt, we went in with a new battle plan to confuse and flinch our opponent until victory was ours. Again, Pikachu goes down in one hit. We decide to hit Espeon with return for max damage, hoping for a crit. Sadly, it wasn't so, and we get dropped to low health again before taking it out. At this point, my hands were sweating, my knees were weak, and there was absolutely no spaghetti. It's Swag and Pray time! Charizard gets confused and hits itself right off the bat, gifting us with our first real victory. Snorlax came out and I thought this was over, but Tyrogue pushed on through. Snorlax was swaggered and confused to the point of hitting itself. Then a headbutt hoping for the flinch, then another self-hit, and a final return to knock it out. Venusaur comes out. My heart is literally pounding on my chest. We are so close. The same strategy goes off again. Swagger, confusion, a self-hit, a headbutt, and a return to finish it off. The last Pokemon is out. It's the final showdown. A 1v1 battle for the ages. Blastoise gets confused by Swagger and hits itself. Tyrogue headbutts, hoping for a flinch, but gets a crit instead. This is it, the last move to finish it all. We either win or lose after this. Blastoise is confused, it hits itself in confusion, and Tyrogue seals the deal with a powerful return. We did it! We defeated every gym leader in both Johto and Kanto, the Elite Four and Red, the strongest Pokemon trainer in Crystal version with only a Tyrogue. The credits roll and I can finally breathe again after that insanely tense battle. I would like to thank everyone for watching up to this point. This was a challenge I wasn't sure I'd complete as I have not ever tried anything like it before. Again, thanks to My Dry Bread and all the other challenge runners for indirectly inspiring me to actually give this a go. It was a hell of a ride and quite the hard work to put up together. I learned a lot from this video related to actual in-game knowledge and video editing. There's only one little problem now. I want more. So please, leave your recommendations for new challenges. I'll be reading every comment and taking a lot of things into consideration. Until the next challenge comes up, feel free to watch my Pokémon Crystal randomized Nuzlocke challenge as it is still in progress. I won't be keeping you guys any longer, so like I say in every other video, that's all for now. Catch you later, trainers.